Okay, this video is to show you how to do a linear regression using Google Docs. Um, so to do this, you're going to need a Google account of your own or of someone else's, and I have a generic one if you need one. But you want to go to drive.google.com, or you can just search for Google Docs and get there pretty easily. And once you log in, you're going to need to hit Create, and then go down and find Spreadsheet. So click on that. I already have one open, so I'm not going to open a new one. Okay, so that when you do open it, this is what it'll look like. It'll be blank though. I put my data in already. It looks a lot like Microsoft Excel. Okay, and so when you enter this in, you want to put labels for your columns so that you can keep track of what data is what. In math class, you call this column X and this column Y. But we're calling it concentration and absorbance. That's what I'm graphing. And so I do want to note on this data right here, when we talked about our calculators and putting scientific notation in, we did pushed a button that made a little E on the calculator, a lot of the calculators, and the computer reads this the same way the calculator does. So this number right here is 3.8 times 10 to the negative fourth. So to actually type that in, you just type 3.8 and then the letter E and then negative 4, and the computer will translate that. Okay? And if you actually look up in this bar right here on what number it's actually displaying, that is 3.8 times 10 to the negative fourth. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that. Alright, so to go ahead and make your graph, you're going to select all your data. So you can do this by either holding down the left click button and dragging until you've selected it all. Or you can just click on one of the pieces of data and hold shift and use the arrow keys to select all your data. Okay, then you want to go to the insert menu and find chart. Okay, you can do this, or you can go look at the menu bar up here and there's that same symbol for insert chart. So either way, you just need to click insert chart. So if you do look at what it's graphing, it says the data that it's graphing is from sheet 1, cells A2 right here to B6. So that's that whole thing. So it's easier if you'll select it ahead of time, but if you haven't, you can always click on this select data range and go select it from here and then click OK. Okay, so once you're on here, you're going to have to select the kind of chart that you want. So we're going to go click Charts, and then we're going to want to scatter. Go ahead and select this first option. And you see your data graphed. However, this is pretty meaningless right now because there's nothing labeling the x-axis or the y-axis, and the chart doesn't have a title. So really right now this graph is not showing us anything. So what we need to do is then click Customize. And this is where you're going to find all the important stuff. So you're going to go ahead and fill in the chart title. Make sure all your charts have titles. So this data doesn't mean much, so we're going to type in concentration versus absorbance. Okay. And then you can select where you want your legend, or if you want a legend. I'm going to go ahead and put mine at the bottom. Okay. And then we're going to scroll down. Okay, so then it says axis, and this drop-down menu right now says horizontal. So this title is going to fill in the horizontal or the x-axis. So our x values are concentration. And you do want to put a unit on this. That big M might mean nothing to you right now, but that's what the units of concentration are. And so you see it filled it in. Okay, then we need to go fill out our y-axis. So we go up to this drop-down menu and select left vertical. And it has another title box. And we're going to go ahead and type in absorbance. And absorbance doesn't have units. So we're good on that. And so it filled them both in. And we're going to keep going down. Okay, and then you can select the color of your data series if you wanted to change that. But the important thing that we're looking for right here is the trend line. And so that's what our linear regression is. So we're going to go ahead and select the linear. And it puts in a line of best fit in here. Okay, but we're going to need a little bit more for that. If you notice on the legend, it now says that it drew it in trend line for data series 1. Well, we want to actually know what that trend line is. And so if you do put your mouse over this line anywhere, it shows you the equation. You can see the y equals 2350x plus 0.069. And then it's tracking the points as you're going along. Okay, but you want one that's on there permanently, so you can, right here where it says the label for it, go ahead and select Use Equation. And you'll see now down in the legend it actually puts that equation there for you of that line. Okay, and I would also select Show R Squared. This information tells you how good your line of best fit is. How well does it fit your set of data. The closer this number is to 1, the better. And so when I click that, you notice you didn't see anything happen, right? And that's because my legend's at the bottom, and it's going to be sitting right under here. So I'm going to go up and just show you what it looks like. I'm going to put my legend over on the right, and now you see that line and the R squared right underneath it, 0.987. That's pretty close to 1, which is indicating this is a pretty good line of best fit. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click Insert. And there's my graph, and right here is my linear equation, my linear regression, and the R squared is just good information for you to have.